Good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. I do hope that this morning you are well and present and still surviving after the long short holiday over the Christmas. I hope that you all do have it, and we have also seen the rally started. I think many of you would have noticed the rally started. Unfortunately, it didn't rally to the small cap stock. As we all know, this is due to the year-end window dressing that we have seen. But so far we have also seen the rally back of the rubber gloves sector. That's right, the rubber glove sector, where your usual stock, Hata, Top Glove. So many people are hoping for better year-end closing and perhaps a chance for your rubber glove stock to go back to where we are for year 2022. Would that be something that you have planned for, to recover back your losses and say, after this round, I'm not going to invest in the stock market? Unfortunately, the stock market doesn't work in that way. It doesn't take into the account that you lost money or you make money. It doesn't even care who you are, right? I think most important is the lesson learned that we have and the kind of strategy that we need to put on if you want to be in the stock market. It is for those who is willing to take a little bit of risk and hope to gain back return. But if you are not willing to take any risk at all in the stock market, perhaps this is not something that is suitable for you. We all know in life we take risks as we go out, stepping across the street, driving our car. There's always risk around, but the question is what kind of benefit it is. It's always been people taking risks without thinking through the process. Is because they are always powered by their emotion. I think the emotion is what we talk about. And right now, the year-end rally, right, which is always seen as fund managers are pushing up for a better year-end closing, and the kind of emotion hasn't got into euphoria because many of us are still looking at the Omicron virus continue to spread, as well as this is the festive season. Surely not too many people are coming into the market. They would like to wait until the first week of 2022. So we yet to be seen that 2022 it's going to be look like to rally or not. But if the Santa Claus rally continue on, then definitely we will have. And also welcome to our Wednesday session. That's right, on Wednesday we are talking about the intermediate stage 2 share, which already shared as looking up, and this is more for those of you who have a little bit of experience. So let's look at our news roundup this morning in here, looking at the trending stock. Okay, now what we have, the KLCI continue to report after a 2-month peak, and usually we get this kind of news. That's why we have this morning the KLCI could not go higher and going to profit taking. And let's take a look at what we have here. Just scroll up, and from the top side you see Hata and majority of some of these stocks are sort of not going anywhere, and the market is already at 1540, which is the old resistance that we have. And definitely this kind of news will get a lot of people to try to get into the market, but yet the market now has sort of undergoing a little bit of profit taking, and market breadth is positive as gainer overpower declining. As I said before, this is also due to the year-end window dressing. It is yet to be seen whether this will continue to the US market on to the first week, but definitely on the US market we are likely to see this continuation going forward. For year 2022, the KLCI will be a lagger in here, and so far the KLCI continue to recover, perhaps not to close and the low -8. Right now it's about -5% in here, and you could see we have the green pentagon picking up at the right in here. Early on there was a little bit of hiccup. The chart came out late, and right now we do see green pentagon. You can see from the blue trend zone in here. Definitely it is a go for some of you. Of course, you yet to be seen whether many of you are able to trust the Pentagon Guider, but those of you who have done and been following us on the Pentagon Guider, it has done much better compared to the KLCI. All right, let's move on to our next story. Now, the next story talks about the Serber Dynamics CEO, where the SC has issued a arrest warrant for that. It's unfortunate those people who got into the Serber Dynamic in here are looking to SC, but all said it's already too late. Earlier on, if you look at Serber Dynamic, we have the red Pentagon as early as March this year. When the market fell, there was many opportunity to cut loss. And when you get down to this kind of stage, this is a stage where the blame game will come. Is this the SC fall? Is this the CEO's fall? I think very important. Again, we talk about risk earlier on. If you do not have a strategy, right, and investing and also diversification, a lot of time we get caught into this, then you probably be saying that stock market is definitely not an opportunity. But if you look at how we've been investing over the years through the records and also the track records that we have, we've been making money not every year but generally year in year out. We are building that portfolio, right? The $1 million portfolio where many of our members have come to join our masterclass in here. Whether you start from a small amount, it takes time, yes, but we definitely get you in there, and that's always been part and parcel of a goal in here. Yes, we do come across a situation like this, but one single stock would not totally wipe out your portfolio or the hard-earned cash if you have studied right, if you have done the right thing. I think that's also important. We have to come to this market in here with a very educated mind and not with a speculative mindset that many of us are tend to drag onto the emotion that we want to get rich fast. Okay, so that has never been the art of investing and trading with our Pentagon Guider in there. With also, if you look back on the Pentagon Guider way back in March, it's already breaking down through the ATR stop loss. A lot of red alert has been given out on the technical side in here. Now the question is whether the users of it take heed of it or continue to sort of dig its head and continue to average down, and eventually yet to be seen whether they are going to be back in. So right now, this would be probably a lesson for all of us in here to avoid when we see ATR stop loss being triggered and to exit soon. All right, let's move on to our next story in here is the CPO prices. Now, CPO prices has hit high and continue to hold up again back on the economic reopening in here. We've seen Omicron cases, yes, continue to rise, but that rise will continue way into end of January, where we see the highest cases logged that were last year, and this is also due to the unvaccinated person in US in here. Now, this report talk about the Kim Long earnings. Third quarter net profit up to 43% to 41 million for the first 9 months to the October 2021. Net profit grew 24%. From 84 to 105 million from 24 million, and revenue did grow 68% to 1.2 billion. That's a lot from 717. So the remarkable performance was due to the higher CPO prices. Now, if you look into this chart, the chart for Kim Long hasn't done much of a justice. You can see it does has a support in here, but let's take a look at Kim Long. Okay, switch to a wider chart here, and you can see Kim Long on the chart wise, right? It started to have a nice pickup in here. Right now, let me just so right now we are at well supported, lifting up about $60 here, and this does give probably a retest back onto the old high around the 176. All right, another potential 20 cents up move. It is a very nice in here. You can see very low volume in the last couple of bars there, like cluster of closers, and started to lift off. Let's take a look at where is Kim Long. Wouldn't we be surprised Kim Long continued to move higher this morning? Yes, that's right, 2.5%, another nice move, reacting to this news too. All right, let's move on to, but then again, the Pentagon Guider already informed much earlier on, right? That's why the Pentagon are able to pick up news that some of these stocks eventually will come out. Now on the next story that we have here is SCGM, which is the packaging and food and beverage packaging manufacturer, and they came out with another very good report. Revenue increased almost 19% to 72.5 million in here, and while net profit declined 9.9%. So this is SCGM. So SCGM is still well supported. Again, it's not one of those tech sectors, but we've seen a big movement going up here. So let's take a look at SCGM. And you can see it has formed a double top on the in here, and volumes are relatively low, partly for the month of December in here. It went gangbuster into November, and such that right now whether the foreign funds will be interested in this, but so far you could see net profit decline but revenue increase, which is not really a good story. We like to see both net profit increases as well as revenue increases too, because if revenue increases, net profit is not increased, that means cost is actually going up in here. All right, but let's hope that this at this level in here, if you like SCGM, buying on a support level up, I suppose is pretty good, but let's also look at the fundamental of this company too. All right, let's move on to our next story. So our next story is about press metal, which is gangbuster. All the metals have risen by a fair bit in this year to date. Aluminium prices, spot prices has raised by 37% to 2,710 per ton from as of December 17. So all the construction material builder like press metal, in this case they also talk about Yuli and also Anju, are giving it a market performance due to the higher prices, which will be already been passed on to the customers in here. So press metal right now, let's take a look at press metal as from a chart wise. So press metal in here, you could see the research house is giving an outperformance at 690. So if you look at press metal in here, also turned green pentagon. So very nice one here. You could see 690 would definitely be, is it the old high? Yeah, probably be higher than the old high, which does give you another, let's now is less than, just turned green pentagon. So that's a nice one in here to able to go in for some of you. And you could see at 575, 690. I don't think it's going to go up to 690 in my personal. If it hit about $6, that's pretty good place, 10% good place to take some profit in for this market in here. Okay. Let's move on to the next news. Press metal, after press metal is on the Pestec. That's right. Now Pestec, which is the utility construction provider, are going into hydro plant as well as infrastructure player. Building, the biggest contract they have won was the 743 million, the KLCI Aero Train project, which has been more than 20 years, I suppose, and they are looking into building up their book order in here. So Kenangan is maintaining a performance for unchanged at 11 and 10 ringgit. So let's look at Pestec here. And Pestec has fallen a fair bit, a big sharp fall. It's one of the stocks that we also got during the November, when the market trend, when the market broke through here, you could see this widespread bar with huge volume back down to the 72 cents. But right now, green pentagon just turned and reacting to this story in here, which in my opinion has already been accounted for. Let's take a look at Pestec this morning. It's just merely reporting from the press business, and it's down minus 1.8%. Of course, why is that? Because we have a very black bar up there. You can see a black bar up there, and that's what the market did push up earlier on to sell on good news like what you are seeing in here. All right, now let's move on to the US market. And so far, we have seen what I reported earlier on. The US market continue to go gangbuster, higher and higher. So many of the audience, as well as some of our members, are wondering, is it possible we have a crash very soon? And that's always been many of the what we call the uneducated or uninformed investor or trader saying that when the market go up, it's going to be crash. Because why? People tend to be biased on the market crash than the market going up. When the market is going up, they say it is crazy, right? It cannot go so high. When when the market crashed, oh, lucky I didn't buy. So at the end, many investors would have invested in here. But if you look back to the facts that we have seen, the US stock market is going up, and due to this report that was put up by Bloomberg and early on by Barron's, is because the bull market is keep running thanks to the growing profit forecast. That's right. So on top of the inflation that is coming up, many of the manufacturer retailers are able to raise prices, pass the cost back to the consumer, and that's why we are seeing a lot of higher prices that we usually see in many of the goods that we're saying. Remember, we saw aluminum prices has gone up. That's why pressed metal. So a lot of these higher price pass through to the consumer are making good profits, and a lot of the US a company under the US S&P top 500 are giving very good future profit forecast. Okay, so if a little bit of forecast of higher tendency, the stocks will also go higher. And on the flip side, some company like PayPal, which given a lower target forecast, are being punished. That's right, the e-commerce like Amazon.com, the JD, and also the Alibaba, some of the e-commerce like the iPay88 ETF, as well as the Square, has pretty much lagged between the technology sector in here. Okay, so on the back of this, this market in here with the COVID-19 on the background, the cases continue to rise. I've seen this morning on the news, we've seen on CNN and also on Bloomberg. A worry that many of the unvaccinated in US will catch this virus and probably increase the hospitalization. But the number of deaths remain to be low. Just for your example, we did hit, I think I just checked, about 500,000 cases in United States, but the number of deaths is about only less than 2,000. All right, the ratio, it's definitely very, very small. And the same thing is also happening in Europe too, in UK, taking an example. But all things being said, there will no be major lockdown. So with no major lockdown that we have seen, unlike what they're doing in China, in Xi'an, where 13 millions are locked down, in US, we're going to see cases rise, but economy will tend to do well, which if you have money invested in the US market, that will be good, right? But somehow this COVID-19 is not over yet. This pandemic, 2022 will be probably another record year due to the and there are some variant which already been in talk now coming into the market in here. So the higher the vaccination here, and I do encourage many of our audience who's listening to get your third shot booster, like I'm hoping to get mine too. I just took 2 shots, waiting for my third shot in here to contain the to contain this Omicron virus, so you can enjoy some of the success that you have been investing in the stock market and continue to go higher. Okay. On the US stock side, the Apple stock finally drops after been moving up, and it's really having difficulty to crack to the 3 trillion market cap for Apple. And for those of you who have listened to me much earlier, beginning of the year or even last year, has had your Apple and holding it, you will be laughing your way to the banks, right? It's one of the best consumer stocks that has done pretty well. Not all tech stock has done well, but definitely Apple has done well. I think it's up about year to date about 26% in here. And you just switch on the AAPL and stock comment in here. So you can see it's been a nice up movement. It hasn't turned green pentagon yet because on this very low volume up move, usually that is something VSA doesn't like. You want to move up on average volume. When on up movement, volumes tend to be low. That's why there's no trigger of the green pentagon. Unlike you see back in November, around the 14th or 20th of November, you would see the volume pick up, and that's why the stock normally moves up. Usually when stock goes up on a low volume, be cautious about that, right? That doesn't mean you cannot buy, but you want to buy on a pullback. I think that will be much better, and that's why we see last night the old high at 183 intraday high on the Apple pullback, and right now we're seeing about 100. And so if you look at Apple here, the live stock prices, you can see Apple pull back to just short of $180 of a 0.5% drop from last night in here. But S&P 500, let's take a look at S&P 500 and the chart. So you can see S&P 500 has it broken? Yes, it has turned green pentagon already. So that means the US market continue to move up in here. Hopefully we don't have any big sell-off that we've seen earlier on. This market in here really testing. You have a double bottom, triple top breakout, and that's usually very positive, and that's why I'm saying earlier on the S&P rally will continue to the January 2022. Unlike Malaysia, yet to be seen whether it can test it. Normally it will test the 1520 from some sort of a resistance level, gradual lower the volume before breaking out, and that's the kind of pattern you want to be looking for if you want to put your money into the this market in here. All right, so Apple rebounding, but the share buyback that we see year in, year out would eventually, mark my word, will cross the 3 trillion market cap. It's just a matter of time. All right, now on the Singapore side, stocks that come into the mind is definitely Comfort Delgro, which there are some corporate news going on in here, and it does look like Comfort Delgro coming up from a very low base, right, which is C52. Okay, C52. Oh, that's not in the US. Have to switch to SGX. Right, go to C52. So stock chart, stock comment here. So on this chart, on the wider chart, you could see this stock after falling from 160. Am I correct? Yes, 160. It has fallen to about 130, a 30% drop, a fair bit of drop. But right now, green pentagon, just imagine you took out, right, leave the market and then come back in. If it's a trading market, definitely holding, following pentagon, buying and selling would definitely do much better than it. So this is definitely a green pentagon for Comfort Delgro. And of course, right now on the SGX side, go back to the main menu, go back to STI, you could see it hasn't turned green pentagon yet, right? So the pickup, eventually I do think that Singapore is going to turn green. Malaysia already turned green. Malaysia already too late, already slow, now only pick up. US has started to turn, so Singapore will also turn green pentagon. Again, mark my word for that one. Okay, now let's move on to the other section that we have. And of course, for our members and for the public, if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, just pencil in and do share your profession with me so we know some of you are. And also, one of the new feature that we've been promoting in here is the watch list. Now, if you look back at the watch list in here, you do have the notification of a badge. And like, for example, I think earlier on in our breakfast show on Monday, we talked about Kosan. And when I key in Kosan in here, you could see that actually it was marked, that it gained. Remember the bold and underline that you see on top? That's the one we notified. It actually hit more than 2% at 187. So you go back to Pentagon Guided List 1, Kosan right now is 189, and once it hit it for the intraday, it will reset back to alert not set. Okay, Public Bank, no change. Let's take a look. Public Bank, what is my target there? No, I didn't set anything in here, so I'll probably set for perhaps 425. Okay, and set for intraday rise and loss. Okay, save it. Now remember, it's for intraday. If it's not done, then what happens is that it will be set back to initial. So you need to set it back again. So that will be 425 in here. Inari is 410 on the. Now remember, Inari just turned green pentagon also. You can see here. How do I know that? Is because there is the 28th December here. 28th of December just turned green pentagon. So that will be a nice pickup from there. Okay. Okay, so that's how we know some of our stocks, whether they have turned green pentagon or not on the 28th December 2021. All right, so let's move on to our next section here. Okay, so our next section is on the trade idea that we were talking about previously. One was CIMB, so I'm going to bring out the chart here, CIMB. And we did select particularly on the finance because after they talk about the interest rate, right? So that's where we would likely to get the market to go higher. So if you look at CIMB and also Alliance Bank, they're moving up. Remember, bank doesn't move gung-ho like what you see in technology. Bank usually only move up about 10% a year. So these are big, large cap stocks. So you gotta treat them like that, but yet they are, trying to go higher. It's been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days already. But you can see it's retesting back the old high. Okay, the old high, and we need to see whether it is possible that this market can break out and go high. But definitely volumes are very low. As again, this could be also due to the year-end window dressing in here. All right, now let's take a look at our stock for this week that we are talking about. Is no other than pressed metal. Okay, so just going to bring up the intermediate chart here for pressed metal. Right, that's where we are. Okay, so we're going to do the trading plan here. Okay, so let's do the trading plan. So let's look at the weekly chart of pressed metal. Okay, nicely done, up 0.7%. Let's switch to, it come from a very low base. Okay, and it hasn't done so. Weekly, Pentagon, still red. Okay, and what else can we say? Okay, then we switch back to a daily chart. So daily chart, you seeing have a form a double bottom, green Pentagon on the 23rd of December. Okay. Important price level we seen. Now how do I know an important price level? So I can go over to the KLSE, go to Robie chart. Remember we got this stock from the daily stock Pentagon too. And you could see pressed metal weekly resistance on top me here is 569. Okay, so weekly resistance is 569 and right now it's 576. So that's why that is the actually entry price. And remember that was on the 28th of December. Okay, 572 weekly resistance already broken through. Okay, this morning in here broken through, and the line change was on the 28th. Okay, 28, which was yesterday. 27, this was 28. 28 was 572, broke through the weekly high. And that's what this is the entry price. Okay, that's where you need to go in, like what we're trying to do here. Okay, and why market can go higher? I think we saw the news of analysts outperform and coming from a low base. Okay, from a low base here, and you can see here. Volumes are coming in, but they are hopefully average volume, I would say here. Okay, last low support. So last low support, we go to pressed metal here on top of me, P metal, and we will look at the trading plan. Okay, we'll look at the trading plan here. So the trading plan here, R1, which is 629, right? Remember just now, 690 is the target price by the analysts. Okay, so the low volume here, we want to see low volume support. We will go over to the exit strategy. Okay, so on top me exit strategy, you see here. The support S1 is 511 and 478, while weekly resistance is 515. So we can say low support is 511 to 515, right? Which is around this area here. That's right. You can see this area here. So that's good. And high resistance, we can see $6.70, right? Trending period, we look back. This is just going to be 1 month. Okay, 1 month. Right, and if the market do trend, we'll see a bit more in here. We'll give it about 2 months. Usually market just trend 1 month, the rest is just going to move sideways. Hopefully we do see a rally. for January, the Chinese New Year rally. Remember, we know Chinese New Year is on 1st of February, and maybe if we see a rally, that will make many of us very, very happy going forward in here. Okay, so that's we'll save that one first, and coming to it. So also just an update, our portfolio for January to December is plus 6.8% in here. I think much higher for our masterclass portfolio, which I updated also on the Telegram chat room. We did pretty well in here. Something I will talk about it tonight for those of you who are our masterclass member, definitely following the masterclass portfolio. If you're doing a longer term, you would have performed much better. At least you're still in the positive territory compared to what you're getting a minus 5% in here. Like it or not, that's what we are doing. It's not a get fast rich, but if you do this and you compound it year in year out, that's how you're going to make your money, right? That's it, how we're doing it in here. More importantly is that not to lose too much money. Whether you sold it or haven't sold it in yet, it's not to lose too much money. And the way to not to lose too much money is very simple. You need to have a strategy. You need to get some sort of a tools and education and a plan. Very important, a plan. If you've been losing money and if you want to continue to lose money, you must have a plan. All right, you must have a plan how to get it back. So this is what we've been talking about, the 6.8% episode 148. We have got into a new stock called RCE Cap as part of our new trade in here for the month of coming to almost another 3 more days to the year end. So RCE Cap, I think RCE Cap has moved nicely. Just to show you in here, switch over to RCE Cap. That's the trade that we are in right now. And this morning, market is up 1.33%. On Green Pentagon, 27, and we got in on the 28. Okay. On the news side for the KLSE, let's take a look at the news side here. KLSE sentiment. The KLSE sentiment looking to be positive in here, dip in early trades. Bursa remain positive. Steel, a lot of the steels are in here. Hap Seng, by Visma KFC, Petronas C, next 3 year and oil price recovery. Those are sort of news that too far out, in my opinion, 3 years in here. But sort of to know the sentimental of the market, still positive, not fantastic. And also, not to forget, we are coming to our last day of promotion of our early bird fee for our US stock sector investing strategy, a step-by-step guide to profit. That will be on the 12th and 13th. So 3 more days. If you want to sign up for our early bird, definitely the 31st in here, and the number is right below there, or just running across the screen. That's the one you want to register and know more about 2022, how to perform better than what you have in 2021. And definitely this is one of the strategies we are sharing. But if you are already existing member or masterclass member, this course is absolutely free. That's why it's always good when you join our community in here. There's a lot of courses in here, and even tonight we are sharing with you our VSA Turtle Trader advanced training for our contestant. Now this training is target for our contestant, but we felt that for our public to able to follow, and we really hope that they can join a lot of our training to become real trader, real investor, taking responsibility for your trade, to be able to build that $1 million portfolio for yourself. And this is something you're doing. So this is the US stocks sector ETF, right? Diversified for better returns in here, building wealth, growing your retirement account, and protecting your capital from falling market in here. We have also 30 days recording video and also member support. So this is something not to be missed out in here. And this is the talk that we're doing tonight. So there won't be any live Facebook tonight, but we will be doing in the live Zoom. Now remember, this is advanced training. A lot of things that you come in, especially the public, may be wondering and scratching your head. But for our contestant and some of our members, this is part and parcel of the training that we've been ongoing training up there. So if you really want to be trained as a very good investor and trader, that's the one you want to be joining us. Our program will definitely put you in the right spot, rather than a lot of people out there wondering what has happened, and what I talked about earlier, succumb to our emotion. And emotion trading will definitely not put you in the money. And right now, coming to the year end, we are still in the positive territory. The longer term portfolio have done much better compared to the shorter term portfolio in here. Okay. So right now we're going to go down to a couple of stocks that you want me to look at. We got Young here. Young been a regular in here. Sure, okay. And I do hope that you will consider supporting us, Young, for our US stock ETF support, as we support answering your daily stock pick in here, right? It goes both ways, right? You support me, I'll support you too. Okay, and Sam Cam, let's take a look at Sam Cam. Sam Cam looks pretty good. Turn green Pentagon in here. Continue to run your profit. But if you look at the, this is a nice zone area which we will talk about tonight. The market stages. This is a very good entry in here. Of course, when the market turn from red to gray, but once it start moving to this positive territory, this is actually a good area to be going in at 83.5 cents in here. If you have it, continue to run it, but once it do hit this the red line here, the horizontal red line, that's a part where you'll see a lot more selling in here. That's the first one, and that was pretty big, but when you see few more of this, that's the one you want to be out. Okay, so this is how we use the market stages. Again, if you join our US ETF stock selector, the ETF in here, you do get our indicators in here for the next 3 months, part of your subscription and part of your training to get there. Okay, any other stocks that you want me to look at? Okay. Now, for the audience who is listening now in here, do share with me how your portfolio for 2021 been doing. Is it positive, negative, not so good, and some of the lesson learned that you have? Do pencil those in. At least I want to know at least what we have done in our show in here. Been very, very beneficial to you, as it has helped many of our members, and also our own trading, my own investing and trading has done pretty well, I would say, for this year. I'm not really that disappointed. As I showed you, those who've been following me from January right up to December, our trading portfolio that we have, the 6%, 6.8%, it did go up to 15%, and we will continue going forward 2022. So you can see, if you've been following me, the question is, have you been following the strategy that we talk about in here? I think that's all we can always do in here. If you could not, if you continue to struggle with your portfolio in here, think about how you can do better in 2022. Definitely our US ETF stock sector will help you to diversify and put you into a much better position. All right. Okay, Nora is looking at Tafik. I think Nora is one of our members. Yeah, Tafik just turned green Pentagon in here. Okay, and you can see hopefully once it started to move up to the green line, above the green line here, that'll be great. But definitely it came from a sell-off area that we're seeing in here, overselling, picks up and coming in here. That's pretty good one for Tafik. All right, any more stocks? All right, and if there's no more stocks, do forget, do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Trade VSA for all our videos in here to keep you up to date, and definitely the sector that we talk about, what happened to the KLSE and what happened to the to all the sectors in 2021 was well explained here, and we'll give you a couple of sectors that we think will do well for 22. So make sure you watch that on our YouTube channel in here, and don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram chat room that you see in here, and don't forget to give us a Google review. We felt that if you have been enjoying our show in here, do give us a Google review in the on our website in here, as that will put us in the better position to bring you more and better material. Thank you for coming today. I'll see you tonight at our Zoom session. Okay, bye bye.